I want to welcome you all to our February all-school meeting. Hope everybody's had a good Christmas and is having an exceptional new year. There are a lot of things on the horizon for us at Western Christian Academy, some adjustments, things like that. But this call scheduled at 2 o'clock in the afternoon was for our Japanese seniors. They have been with us since, I believe, 7th grade. And so now they're graduating this year, and I'm excited. I'm excited for them to finalize this journey, for them to share with us where they're headed, and just to kind of stay in touch with them and just kind of see how WCA has actually impacted their lives and prepared them really for the future. So I know that they're heading into a university, and but hopefully one of these days we'll be able to meet them in person as well. So anyway, this was why I scheduled this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For those of you that are in Romania at midnight, hey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. So look, to get started here, we have, I just have some questions. There's 3 basic questions that I just kind of want to share, and you guys can all just jump in and give some feedback, whether you put it in the chat or you do it verbally. It doesn't matter, but these are just some very direct questions. So question 1, if WCA improved just one thing, now this is for students, this is for parents, this is anybody involved with the student's education. If we improved one thing next year that would make the biggest difference for you, what should that be? Feel free to share verbally, to put it in the comments. You know, this is a time where the worst feedback is the best feedback. We welcome that kind of feedback because it helps us improve and to help you guys as well. So feel free to answer. All right, so not make the teachers open every quiz individually. So let's address that. So let's address in that is our mastery-based learning structure. So mastery-based learning structure is based upon an 80% pass margin average, which statistically has proven to be the best pass margin for students. Students have a tendency, no student is immune, even my own children, to taking the easy way. So the easy way basically is, hey, I got a 68%, I passed, let's go. Well, what we find is in that process, the lower the score, the lower the performance, the lower the, and I like to say not so much performance, but the lower the effort, the lower the grit and tenacity that a student likes to apply to their learning. The difference and the struggle that comes with quizzes being opened individually definitely has an impact individually for students, especially when they're in a different country. So Romania is 10 hours ahead. Just so everybody knows, Japan is 16 hours ahead. So Japan is like what, 7 o'clock in the next day already. And so, but we've made it work all these years. Now, faith has been a huge part of that, of helping in that area, but it is doable. And a lot of it has to do with structured communication. Students preemptively knowing when they're going to be ready for a quiz, not just taking a quiz because it's available, but are you actually ready for the quiz, knowing that you have to have an 80% or better to pass that quiz in order to move on. So there's a learning process that's not academic, but it's character, and that is the student actually putting in the proper time, the proper amount of effort to learn the material so that they're ready for the quiz, so that they're ready to perform on the quiz to that 80% standard. So the frustration of quizzes being opened individually, I get it, but at the same time, if we do that, we have had experiences with students who just want to run through, then they have to go back and redo the quizzes because they haven't passed them. And the bottom line is this, it's true. This is what the truth is this. Low performance on quizzes means students do not pass the test. I've been doing this for over 25 years. It's a proven fact. Students are pretty consistent. If we allow them a lower standard, they will meet that lower standard. If we create a higher standard, they will meet that higher standard. So that is why we allow the students, or the quizzes are controlled. Their assessments as well. Assessments at all levels are controlled by teachers in every type of institution. Just because it's online doesn't mean they have freedom to just take a quiz whenever. So there is a preparatory process to taking a quiz, that small assessment, before they actually take the large assessment. So what are some other questions we got out there, Jody? Or answers?
Mr. Drago says more student interaction through class chats vetted by teachers and parents, like what Mrs. Davis is doing.
She's doing a great job.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Jody, this is George, Dr. George Alakwa. I wanted to ask about the interaction. So that has been said. The second one, my daughter said, can they have more videos instruction? Because she learned more with the video. And is that what you asked? Yes. So the student interaction too is also important, because I want them to see other students interact with other students since they're all far apart. Thank you.
Okay, so what country are you from?
Originally from Nigeria, but we're in the US. We're in New Jersey.
Okay,
and, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we're well representing the world today. I love it. So, agreed. So when it comes to videos, so I'll be the first one to tell you, I was with the Ignitia curriculum that we use for our online since its beginning, since its birthing. We were one of the premier schools that tested it out. And I will be the first one to tell you now, it does need updated, and it does need some more video aspect to that. However, there is a way to work on this video problem that some students who are visual learners, visual auditory learners, and that is to engage a whole lot more with your teacher, because your teacher is there to create these videos, to have conversations like this with you, to help you in your learning. So all learning is a dual responsibility. It's the teacher and the student. That's primary. The parents and the school administration, and those are secondary. Why? Why do I say that? Because first and foremost, the student is the one that has to complete the work. Teachers, parents, and as school administrators, school systems, we're there to help facilitate that learning process for the student. And so I totally get what is needed in this curriculum. You guys can be praying about, in 3 to 5 years, a whole brand new system that I keep having conversations with about the potential of developing. But it takes a lot of time to develop a whole brand new system, and a system really that we're looking at as owning, so that we can control it. And so when we do need to edit a video in a lesson content or whatever, we have that capability. And this is a capability where many hands are going to be part of this project as when it comes to fruition. So I totally get the video, but that's where you want to engage with your teachers. And it could be in a specific subject like that you need that more visual help. And so engage with the teachers, help them, even request, hey, can I get a video on this lesson concerning, dividing fractions or mixed numbers or whatever it may be. And they're more than willing to do that. If you ever come across a teacher that's unwilling to do a video for you, I'm the guy you need to talk to. Okay. So just so you know, I'm a huge proponent, as the teachers can tell you, of the more video we do, the better. Okay. So good feedback. Anything else?
I would like to look back on two of the questions. One of the things is, and I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. You might hear, but on the quiz thing, there's a simple way to get 80 and above quickly. It's to write down all the questions that you missed and all the ones that you did right. Study the ones you missed. Review the ones you got right. And the ones that don't do that, they're constantly, I mean, there's only one right answer for a true and false question. Come on, guys. I mean, you can't get a true and false question wrong multiple times.
Right.
Yeah. Then there's the other thing. I agree on the video stuff. There are some good stuff on YouTube, but I could tell you my experience with YouTube, they do have commercials, and even though you might be doing a Christian thing, they'll come off, there'll be commercials totally against godly principles and so forth. Might have to do, if you want to go that way, is to do their premium where you don't get ads.
Yeah.
And I think the premium's like 11. I'm not promoting YouTube by saying this, but I'm just saying is that would be the best way, is to go premium without ads.
So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Christensen is our history teacher. And so if anybody can identify with marine philosophy, you can identify with Mr. Christensen. Semper Fi, right? So he is a wealth of knowledge history-wise, and he loves to talk about history, no matter where it is in the world. So he's a wealth of knowledge in that framework.
And
so
I'm still learning, even from my students.
Yeah,
I'm learning. I'm learning Romanian history. I'm learning. I'm learning all the time. So, yeah. But again, there's no easy way to get a good grade.
Right.
And a good grade means you have to be studying. There's an old saying that 80% that you learn comes from writing it down. Only 20% comes from listening. Yep. So even though the videos might be good, does that person keep in mind what they've learned?
You have to take notes.
So you need to take notes during the videos.
Okay. So we have an explanation on why the answer is wrong in the system. So what I would say concerning that is, first and foremost, there's no digital curriculum that's 100% accurate. So understanding digital curriculum, if a comma is out of place, it's going to be marked wrong if that comma is required in the answer. So it's very, very specific and character specific in its answering in digital curriculum. When you need an explanation as to your answer and why it was graded wrong content-wise, this is, again, teacher engaging with the teacher, okay? That teacher is there. They can override the system. They can override that. But here's the thing. We want to support your answer and the reason for your answer. And if your answer is in line with what the question was asked, we want to support that, because we understand that the presentation of that answer may be a little bit different than what the system has structured within it. So again, it's another opportunity to engage with your teacher for that explanation. And then the teacher, if the system is absolutely wrong, that's where we send feedback to make that curriculum adjustment to the curriculum developers. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next question. What kind of stress do you not carry anymore because of Western Christian Academy, because of your education?
I would like to speak with that. The stress of indoctrination, because what took my children, there was a time my daughter was going to one of the schools, and she came back and she said, they told them that she would become a boy. I said, no. She said, because it's contrary to the book of Genesis. I said, correct. I said, you cannot be a boy. You are a girl. God made them boy and girl. So that just lit me up, and I started focusing more on the school, and I really went over there. I really fought for my daughter, and I said, that's it. So we have to go to Christian school. That was it. So I'm happy. They don't go through that. I'm not scared, because now the new governor that just took over just hyped up the transgender something. So that's a big load off my head because of the contradiction with the Bible. So
yes. So if you haven't, gone to our website and seen our statement of faith for Western Christian Academy, I recommend you do that, because we align directly with God's word first and foremost, and that is something that's not going to change, and that's why the freedom of a private school that we are We don't have any federal funding that can dictate to us how we should teach, what we should teach, why we should do it. God is the only one that has given us that that direction, and we want to support families that are doing that. And honestly, I would say this, and this is what my message to churches has been: there's a whole lot more of us out there than there is of the other, that thinking. The problem is we're a silent majority. And as Dietrich Bonhoeffer would say, to stay silent, okay, is basically to approve it and participate in and of itself. And so we don't want to do that. And so that's why our statement of faith is such a strong stance against these things. And I think for the most part, I've never met a family yet that disagreed with our statement of faith and what is stated there. And I haven't had a family that wants to withdraw because of that, because everybody that enrolls, that they're agreeing to that, they understand that, and to acknowledge that. So that's a huge burden that we can take off of parents, to philosophically and spiritually, to be able to support them and walk beside them. So that's really good. Thanks for sharing that. So what other stress? Nick says he's not late for school anymore. So that depends on what time he gets out of bed. But what else? I know some students, they're not bullied anymore. Flexibility, Adam said. So, all right, let's continue on. Last question. What's one thing at WCA that annoys you just a little? The due dates. Everybody's annoyed by the due dates. And here's the thing. It's almost kind of like, the parent always looking over your shoulder, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's annoying, but it's never going to go away, till you're out on your own. And then you're going to realize, oh, so glad for that accountability. So I understand the due dates. I understand that it's there as a reminder. Don't stress over them. Okay. All 4 of my girls, until their senior year, were always past due. Okay. So, but as a parent, my job was to make sure that, they're accountable to the work that was required of them. Okay. So I understand, but don't let that be your focus when it comes to your schoolwork. Focus on your daily goals, be done with your daily goals, and carry on. Okay. A little bit every day accomplishes a whole lot. Okay. Melissa, yeah, they're guides. Yep, they are. They're reminders for sure. Okay.
Yeah, they can always work ahead.
Yep.
Those
So
due dates.
Mark says having to tell the teachers to open the test. Agreed. Steph agrees with that. And again, I go back to the mastery-based learning. It's an assessment. All assessments are in a controlled environment, like any school. Okay, you show up to class. Hey, we have a test today. Guess what? You don't get the test until the teacher hands it out or makes it available. So nothing, just because it's digitized and just because it's online, doesn't mean it's a free-for-all. And again, not that this applies to every student, but if students are given the easy way, they're going to take the easy way. That's human nature. Okay, that's why we stay silent rather than stand firm and in standing, girded with the armor of God, basically, that allows us to stand. So I understand that frustration, but again, I go back to communication. You will never lack good communication skills in your whole life. Talk to any parent that works with other people. Communication is key to relationships with husbands, wives, children, co-workers, neighbors. If you're playing on some athletic team, it's that, so communication is always part of that. So again, if you know a test is coming up, you're doing proper preparation for that test, it's nothing to ask to have that open. Now, let's talk about the types of communication that you're using. So Ignitia has a platform. There's email. There's Microsoft Teams, since they took Skype away. Okay. If you do not have Microsoft Teams, you are not going to be the most effective communicator, because Microsoft Teams creates a much quicker and more effective communication tool than Ignitia or email. Okay. Because it's app-based. So if you're not using that, then I would say go download Microsoft Teams, create the account, and share that with all of your teachers, so that they can, because they work with it on their phones. Okay, you can even get mine, and because I'm getting messages from parents and teachers on my phone when they're not getting information from teachers or things like that. And so you got to be using Teams. It's a essential tool for better and more efficient communication. So efficiency is a key when it comes to communication. So if you're going to be efficient in your communication, you're going to be effective, and that's two ways. Okay, so those of you that are saying your Microsoft Teams doesn't work, first of all, I would say, does it not work? Are you use the app version of Microsoft Teams, number one. Okay, that's what I would say. So if you're using the web version, that could be a problem. I would use the app version. Okay, and if you have a cell phone, download it on your cell phone as well as your computer. All the staff here, that's how we do ours. Okay, choose it to be a personal one, and so that it's only yours. Okay, and then again, if you're having issues with that, there's some troubleshooting that can be done on that, and I could work with you a little bit on that one-on-one. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to Hamamatsu. Is that right? Japan. This is where our seniors are from, and so I wanted to kind of show you, give a map here, relevance of to where they live on the really island of Japan, and so that gives you kind of a reference on that. But this is I gotta try the names here, because Dad sent me the Google Translate, which was really helpful. Okay, Chongwei Hao. And the next one, his brother, is Chongwei. This is where I always mess it up. Chongwei Shang. Yay! All right, with an American accent. All right, so either one of you guys can go and talk first, and I'm basically going to turn this over to them, for them to present to us what they need to. So I'm going to stop the presentation right now, because after this is where I really want to share some big news that we've been talking about here for Western Christian Academy. So really, for the next 15 minutes or so, it is all Japan. And so feel free, Dad, boys, anybody, to share what you want to share with us and the rest of the family across the world. So.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Let me start with me, myself. And okay, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Good afternoon, everyone, and of course, Principal Jeff, and teachers and the students are online. It's it's our great pleasure to do this event. And although we are meeting virtually, then I was surprised that many people are turning on the camera, and it is a very great event. Actually, you can see we are the family of four. Two of my sons, they are twins. Right? Also studying the WCA. Right? We are currently stationed in Japan, as Jeff has shared with us. Actually, it's 17 hours different the time zone ahead of California. Now today is a Friday, 7 a.m. And then we can join this event very happily, and because of the time zone different. And I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the teachers and all the staff support for my students' education, especially the guiding them and then support them online. And especially sometimes we also have a meeting with the teachers, and then they also arrange the time, although the time is very big gap. thanks for that, and yeah, and thanks for the support. So now I will hand over to my children.
Okay.
So what I would like to share about Japan is that first I'll share the geographical parts of Japan. Japan is stationed in a ring of fire in the Pacific Ocean, which means that they are prone to natural disasters like volcanoes and earthquakes and tsunamis. And Japan has four main islands: Honshu, Hokkaido. I forgot the other two. Shikaku and what was that? And Okinawa. And Japan, and now I'll talk about the cultural aspects of Japan. Japan is a blend of tradition and modernity. So that means that even though they empathize social conformity, they have a saying that goes similar to the the nail that stucks out. This nail that stucks out gets hammered down. Is something similar to that, and they and in they also express like freedom, like they're like similar to democracy. Yeah, it's a and in Japan's religion, they have both like uh, Shintoism and Buddhism, and that means like there are spirits in there are spirits in everything, in the grass, in the trees. So basically, it's kind of like pantheism,
Mhm.
and Japan is like and Japan is like uh, Japan believes it uh, it the religions they express like daily rituals more than the faith. And like there are some daily rituals like washing your hands with a specific ladle, and Japan like it has it's like mostly like work based rather than faith based.
Okay. Good. So I have a quick question for you guys. How does Japan like their new prime minister? Not to be political, but I mean, hey, it's been interesting.
I would say a lot of most of the not most, but like the majority of the population kind of like prefers this new prime minister because as she has went to other countries and have met like Trump, for example, and so seeing her past the things that she did, like a lot of Japanese people have faith and have courage in her to make Japan better. So, like from my point of view, I believe that yeah, the majority of Japanese people are like prefer this new prime minister.
So there, most of the people that are in support of her as the prime minister and what she's doing for the country. Then, okay, I was curious. I always like to get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I'd rather talk to somebody in Japan about it rather than somebody here. So good.
Maybe I share one feedback to you on this. Where I work, actually, is I think 30 people office. And after the election was finished, the next day working day, so people say, yes, we finally make it. Anyone say that?
Okay.
Surprise me.
Interesting. Okay.
You finished? Yeah, okay. Okay, I will start, and I have prepared a small presentation. So I will share my screen now. Oh, sorry. Oh, give me a second. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yep. There we go.
Thank you very much. So, well, good evening, everyone. Well, it's 7 a.m. in the 7:30 right now. So in the morning for us, so good morning to us. We are very delighted to be able to share with you all our experiences with Western Christian Academy. So I will give a little brief presentation about my my path with Western Christian Academy. And so this will be the table of contents. I will talk about Japan's Christianity situation, then my path to Christianity, and how WCA has helped me, and my future plans. And so first, Japan's Christianity situation. As some of you may know, Japan is a graveyard for missionaries. And as for the population, it is said that only 1% of the population is Christian. And so, according to statistics, you can see that Shintoism is the most most popular religion with 48.6%, and then next is Buddhism with 46.2%, and Christianity with only 1.1%, and others 4%. So we really can see here that Christianity is really like Christian. There's really less Christians here. And next, my path to Christianity. When I came to, I was originally born in Malaysia, but I moved to Japan in 2013, and the next year I went to an international Christian school. So at a very young age, I was able to learn about God. And then in 2020, we changed to Western Christian Academy, and it really helped me with my faith. And at first, I didn't really go to church, but from 2022, I started, from Easter of 2022, I started going to church. And after 4 years, now I am graduating. And so about church, so this is my pastor. He is massaging my shoulders. And his name is John, but we called him Mr. John. And so I think a lot of you are thinking that this guy looks American, and yes, you are correct. He is American, but he lives most of his life he lived in Japan. So all of his sermons are in Japanese. And but sadly, last year February 11th, he passed away. So really around around a year ago. And so he got infected by this virus, and it's usually not deadly, but according to statistics, 1 in 100,000 people die from this virus, and he was one of the 100,000 people. So looking back at this year, I wondered. I found myself always wondering why. Why was it him out of 100,000 people? Why was it not someone else? But really reflecting on this past year, I really learned that there is positivity even after death. And the the numbers of people increased drastically, and so a lot of so people who weren't going to church suddenly started going to church and is continuing to go to church right now. And then God can turn anything sad into happy. And finally, his death, it's all God's plan. Even though it may seem it is sad, it's all God's plan. So this is the things that I have learned throughout this year. And so Western third.
Not to interrupt you, but that's maturity. Okay. I like that. That's good.
And so third is Western Christian Academy. And it has this school has helped me in a lot of areas. But the three areas that I want to share was time management. And so since Western Christian Academy is like a um, self-paced learning, I learn how to manage my time, what time I have to do my work. And sometimes, since we have a time difference, I sometimes have to work until midnight with the teachers. But this really has taught me time management. Yeah, it has helped me with time management. And next is since anywhere, so we can do WCA like anytime, anywhere. And since we are from Malaysia, every year or two, we would go back to visit family and friends. So even even while we are overseas, we are still able to do the studies. So this has really helped us with all the traveling that we do. And lastly is, well, of course, being able to learn about Christianity in a country where there's only 1%, it has really helped me with my faith. And lastly, my future. So I will be going to a university called Akita International University. And I believe a lot of you know Hokkaido. It's like the top of Japan, but it's right under Hokkaido. So that place is really since it's in the north, it's snowy. And so this is some photos of the university. And this university is actually famous for its library. And the picture on the left shows a view of the library. And the picture on the bottom right shows the view from the top. And yeah, as you can see, it's a Colosseum design. And on the top, this building is actually supported by its own cedar trees. So this is the, I guess, charming point of the university. And so there are 4 points on why I chose this university. First is because of its full English curriculum. And since I have been studying English my whole life, this will really help me with my studies. And next is this international focus. There are a lot of, I believe, around more than 50 cultures that are on this campus. So, of course, people from America, people from Europe, South America, North America, just really, there's a lot of cultures scattered there. Third is its liberal arts education. And fourth is its study abroad requirement. So undergraduate students are needed to go overseas to study for 1 year. So this university is really international. And just like American universities, I will be starting my university in September. Thank you all for your attention. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, I will be glad to hear from all of you. Thank you very much.
Cool. I like that library.
Oh yeah.
That library is really cool. I've never seen anything like that. So that's really cool. So your study abroad component, what is that? Does that mean you have to leave Japan to go to another country then to do part of your study?
So universities in Japan are typically 4 years, and so this university requires students, third-year students, to have to go to overseas. So meaning leave the country, and go anywhere in the world. And so I've heard that Finland and Sweden are quite popular overseas countries to study at.
Okay. So, do you have freedom to choose what country you want to go to as a junior to do your studies?
Really depends on your GPA. The higher your GPA is, the more countries that you are able to choose from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So are you excited?
Of course. But also a little nervous. Since I will be living alone, away from my parents. So the first time in 18 years. So it's a
Love it.
little, yeah.
Growing up
nervous.
even more. Love it.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. So how does mom and dad feel about you leaving and being on your own?
It's times.
Sometimes, yes, it is. It is. So what about your brother?
Oh, I'm going to a university in Yamanashi called the Yamanashi, like Yamanashi Gakuin University International College of Liberal Arts.
Okay. So what are you guys both studying specifically at the universities that what's your focus when you graduate? What's kind of your degree going to be in, or do you want it to be in?
Yeah, I go first. Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm studying liberal arts to become a psychologist.
Okay.
There are a lot of factors why. Because I in the elective course I chose the therapeutics course, and I also heard that like psychologists they have like a bright outlook. Like, so I mean the jobs they have a bright outlook. So
Yeah.
I have a very big shot into getting in one of those jobs.
Okay. So let me ask your brother, would you go to him as a psychologist?
I think I would take a few days to think about it. Maybe a few weeks.
It's that brotherly love. I love it. I love it. So what about you?
So for me, so his university has 6 majors, and he chose psychology out of those majors. But for my university, we don't have majors. We we only have um this one curriculum, which is called liberal arts. So, but personally, for me, I haven't really chosen what I want to study. So like in the studies, there are I guess 3 areas. They call it global business, global connectivity, and global studies. So,
Okay.
but I have not chosen what I want to study. But actually, I still have time because the first semester, all students have to focus on English.
Okay.
Have to study. So I have to choose soon, but I still have a little more time to
Sure.
choose.
I'm the type of school administrator that when I talk to juniors and seniors and I ask them, so what are your plans for the future? They're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, cool, high five, way to go. I mean, because it's an honest answer. And so don't feel like, pressure to do this or do that. Let the Lord lead you as he's been leading you these last several years to guide you and direct you into, really, as you said, with the pastor passing away, at the end of it, it's still God's will, and allow that will to be made known. Seek that will first as you make the plans, and he will lead you to where he wants you to be. So this is great. I love it. So thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any other questions they want to ask?
I have a compliment.
What's that?
These 2 boys worked hard, and it shows.
Good.
Shows through their work,
Good.
and it was a blessing to have you 2.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent.
And I want to tell you, I was in Okinawa based in the 80s, and this is truly a miracle. You wouldn't have been able to do this back in the 80s, what we're doing right now.
Yeah. my neighbor was World War II vet. He was a CB, and he was stationed in Okinawa after World War II for like another year in the rebuilding process and that. So shared many stories and experiences with the people of Okinawa, and just really the enjoyment that he had of the Japanese culture there. So anything in the chat there, Jody? No? Okay. Well, let me represent my screen here, and we'll get finished up with some, what's Charity saying there? Charity says, sad to see you both go, but it was such fun teaching you guys. So Charity is English teacher. So good. All right. Let's move forward here. Let's go to some big news here. So this is a map from Prather, California, where we're located, to Johnson City, Tennessee. So the big news is that Western Christian Academy is relocating to the East Coast from the West Coast. And so it's a distance of 2,444 miles. So all of the Pacific time frames that we've had back here is now going to switch to the Eastern Standard Time. And so Nick asked the question, why? So there's a lot of reasons for this. First of all, the cost of doing business, number one. It's a lot cheaper in almost any other state in California, number one. And number two, better opportunities for my family, my girls, who are 19 and 22. And the other thing has to deal with my father-in-law and the property here and a lot of things in there. But so if you're in Tennessee, we would love to see you. But let's talk about what's changing. Okay, so relocation is taking place at the end of this month, the beginning of next month. Okay, so it's right around the corner, and the address is going to change, of course, right? From Prather. So currently, the nonprofit address technically is in Franklin, Tennessee. Has been since March of 24. But that hasn't changed operation. So our accreditation group, they still see us as California based because the main office has not moved. So thirdly, what changes? Well, the main office location. And so when we actually have our office location address in Tennessee, we will definitely be sharing that with everybody. It'll be updated on our website, all of our documentation, all of those things. And then of course, the biggest change to me is going to be the Pacific time zone to Eastern time zone. That's a 3-hour difference. So that puts us 3 hours closer to Romania, 3 hours closer to Japan, 3 hours closer to pretty much anybody else in the world. And so, yeah, we've had some conversations of like, what does that mean then for all of our students, in the Pacific time zone? How do we help facilitate that? Well, teacher-wise, it's really not going to make any difference. And so the only difference would be is communications with the office. We're going to slowly transition to that change of Eastern Standard Time from Pacific time. So let's talk about finally what is not going to change, because I see several comments popping up. And what's not going to change? The great staff, the amazing customer support, and everything that makes Western Christian Academy what it is and has been for the last 42 years. So in essence, not a whole lot's changing in what we believe, why we believe, and just the relocation of doing business is all that's happening. So there may be some individual changes because we still got to deal with different state things. And that are, that we deal with right now, we'll just be dealing with it from Tennessee. Tennessee does have some different offerings for private schools than the state of California does. So, and yes, Mark, it is 3 hours closer to the UK. So that's going to be good for you. However, I can't tell you that all your teachers are going to be that much closer. However, I know that Miss Jordan is going to be relocating as well. Okay, but I'll let her share with that when that time comes. Okay, those of you that have talked to our office manager, Miss Liz, okay, she will be relocating to Tennessee with us as well, and so it'll be a good change. The name, Aiden, is not changing. It will still be Western Christian Academy. Okay, and so we already have our registered nonprofit in Tennessee. It's just once we get there, the address change basically. So we'll still have the same 800 number. We'll still have the same email. We'll still have all the things that you guys are using to communicate with and to engage with. It'll all still be the same. The only difference is going to be Pacific time to Eastern Standard Time, and pretty much the address. Outside of that, I don't really anticipate hardly any changes. Now, there may be some nuances along the way, but actually, I think with the main office, with all of our, a lot of our customers, so to speak, our students, parents, it will actually be a good benefit for them, moving to an Eastern time zone than Pacific. But again, as we've made adjustments with family in Japan, we'll make adjustments no matter how we do it. And so that is really the big news. And there will be more communications coming out about this. There will be a transition during the time frame of actually when we're relocating that there may be some slower communication because of travel time and, different change of personnel answering phones and emails. But we're still going to move forward with everything as smoothly as possible in this transition. We all may be working from our homes until we actually get our office building set up over there. But we will be in constant communication. We want you to be in constant communication. We want you to ask questions if you have any concerns. And again, this is why, if you're not on Microsoft Teams as a parent or even as a student, I recommend you do. And you can connect with me on every communication I have with a family for the most part. I put my Microsoft Teams link in the chat for them on this meeting, just like I'm going to be doing right now here in the chat. So that if you want to connect with me on Microsoft Teams as your administrator and principal, my link is right there. So send me that invite and connect with me, and more than happy to connect with you. And it's a great way to communicate with all of your teachers as well. So any questions about the move from anybody? No questions. All right, this is great. So does anybody have any last minute questions, thoughts, concerns, something they want to share before we kind of close out this monthly meeting? There will be another one coming up in March at some point, and we'll let you know when that's going to be. Anything to share? Okay, well,
I'd just like to say really quick, just thank you for me personally. I love Weihao Weishang very much, and it's been really fun to be involved in their education, but I actually don't live where they live. I live in a different part of Japan, so I haven't been able to be a huge support for their education. And so having WCA, like Weishang kind of said, that the Christian education, it's not even hardly heard of in Japan. So the fact that they have been able to have this Christian education and the support of the teachers, Christian teachers from the US, has just been such a honestly just like a personal blessing to me because I love them dearly. So I'm so thankful for WCA and helping them in their education.
Thank you, Faith.
Yeah.
I have one last
maybe-
question for mom and dad. Why did you choose Western Christian Academy? Since, you know, as Faith just shared, it's really kind of unheard of in Japan. And I remember early on years ago having that conversation, I was kind of surprised, you know, like, wow. So what was it that was the, you know, deciding factor? Why did you choose Western Christian Academy?
Maybe I can answer that. And actually, Faith helped us to look for the online English study, online education, and then Faith helped us. Thanks for that. And I remember that time, there are multiple of selections. Faith that you proposed. We finally found the WCA. The reason is because the WCA is credited. And because of that, it's really helpful, right, for our children to use the accredited school to go to the university in Japan. It's really, really helpful because of that, the decision we made. And thanks.
Did you guys have any issues with enrolling and your interviews and stuff with the credibility of Western Christian Academy in any of the universities you applied to?
Yes, mostly like they accept the accredited school. Yes.
Yeah. So we have not had anybody have any issues with our diplomas. The only really state really is New York, and that's because New York still does not recognize online education for high school. It's crazy. I have no idea how they come up with that, but that is the only state that we've ran into that with. And that's a legislative change that has to take place in the state of New York. But that is only for state-funded universities in New York. So any private college, you know, like that in New York, yeah, there's not an issue with that. But it's only the state-funded ones of New York that there's an issue. So that's good, and it's great to hear that. And so I just want to say thank you all for being on this call. I'm so glad and proud of our graduates that are all graduating this year. It's just unique to be able to see them in the different locations from where they're graduating from, and to see how small the world really gets, you know, with Western Christian Academy. Because my goal with this school when we started the online was to reach as many people throughout the world, to make Christian education available across the world. For those that God calls into that participation. And so we want to support that. We want to continue to keep improving with more videos, with more interaction for students. And again, I really thank you guys for sharing about Japan, because this is part of an area that, because we have kids from all different countries, to share different cultures and with each other, so that they begin to understand the cultures that people are living in, and how they're being educated in those cultures, and how actually WCA is influencing and impacting that. So thanks for sharing, guys. Thank you for being on this call, and I can't wait to sign that diploma. So take care, guys. Take care, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.